if I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home, when I'm home. I was just so far from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there was nothing you said that could make me realize how much left.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the special Around the Ropes with Jon and Jeff. You guys are catching us not only on Facebook tonight, we are back on YouTube, and we're also debuting tonight on Twitch. So there's a couple places you can find us. Before I bring in our guests, let me shoot over to my co-host and my partner in crime for all this. Jeff, how you doing? What's going on?
Happy Pride Month, everyone. Happy Pride Month, John. How are you tonight?
Doing good. I'm really looking forward to this because this guest has not been on the show since the early days of Around the Ropes. And I'm talking the early days.
I know you've mentioned his name many, many times to me, so I'm really excited to finally put a face to the name as well.
You guys know him as the Landmine, but he is from Long Island, the one, the only, Joe Ocasio. Joe, welcome back to the show. How you been?
Hey, what's going on? Jon, Jeff, thank you for having me on Around the Ropes. I'm happy to be back, doing good, finishing up, beating some people's butts and getting them in shape. Now it's time to talk my true love and passion, pro wrestling.
But yeah, it's been quite a while since you've been on with us.
Yeah. So I think it was 2021 it could be, or 22.
It was, like I said, it was the early days of the show.
Yeah, so I remember it was through Full Faith, I think, when I got in contact with you the first time. And quite leaps and bounds have happened, I think, for both parties since. Currently I'm actively wrestling with the NWA. I will be officially a part of NWA 77, right, the Paramount, Huntington, New York.
I'm definitely looking forward to that show. I mean, you bring up the NWA. Let me Yep. No, go ahead, Joe.
No, I'm good. Please go. I think there was a little lapse with the, little technical.
You bring up NWA, and I want to go back to the show at over in Melville. You took on Tom Latimer.
Yeah.
Main event. What was that like facing such a big name for such a prestigious title, literally in your hometown, or close to your hometown?
Well, yeah. So it's crazy that I wrestled him twice. To give you the Melville story, back in I think that was September 2023. I could be wrong, but this is right when I got back from a pretty serious knee injury. So and listen, I was recovered fast, but I probably should have waited another month. So it was quite a test. It was nerve wracking, but honestly, in the same token, I earned his respect in that match, which really was I think when an athlete goes through an injury and you have a lot of doubts, you think about where you fit and if they'll perform the same, and there's a lot of those really heavy doubts in your mind. And to work with somebody of his caliber and have that reassurance that I'm very talented, and it really helped me continue on my path since then. And it's been incredible. Tours in Italy, I wrestled Tom again. So the first match, he wasn't NWA champion yet, according to what was going on TV. So it wasn't announced as a title match. So this second one that I had with him in Freeport was really cool. It was closer to my house. It was announced as a title match, so it was really special.
Jeff?
No, I'm just listening here. I love hearing the stories. How does it feel to be working in the NWA? How's that going for you?
I mean, to me, listen, NWA is the original, right? No matter what change we've gone through, right? I love pro wrestling, like most of us do that are in this industry. I know you guys do. So to be tied to that organization at all is a huge honor to me, and I take those three letters seriously. So and it's the drive that keeps me going. You know, I know that Billy Corgan is sitting on top of the mountain in that company as our leader. And he's somebody who's outside of the wrestling business at one time that believed in it and has invested so much time and money and effort. And, so I look forward to giving every single fan their money's worth every time I'm in an NWA ring. Hell, anytime I'm in any ring, because I feel like I'm always representing them. So it's quite an honor. I'm really, really privileged to be there.
We've had a few NWA stars on. I'm sorry, John. We've had a few NWA talent on, and they all share that same appreciation for the business that you seem to have, Joe. It's something that I think is common with performers of your caliber at that level, especially when you work for a company as prestigious as the NWA, going back, like you said, they're the OG company, man. And you can't be a wrestling fan or historian like kind of we are without knowing your history, without knowing where the roots and where we came from as an industry, be it as podcasters, fans, stars like yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. And so I just like you said, it is kind of the start of everything in pro wrestling. And in a way, I feel like every one of us that are chosen to be a part of that company, it's our job to live on that legacy. It's our job to continue to live it on. I take that more seriously than anything else.
That was actually going to be my next question: was how do you translate the history of the NWA to a modern market, to a modern audience? Because obviously the NWA, kind of went through some peaks and valleys there for a long time, especially during the late 80s, early 90s, with the wrestling boom of the WWE. So what do you bring to the table, and what do you look forward to?
Well, I was such a great question, because the NWA, I mean, I have the privilege of being backstage with the roster currently, and like I said, there's a release of the footage. When I see backstage of what is to come and what's brewing, I mean, you got Spencer Slade on the regular roster, who's an incredible current modern talent. Alex Taylor is as good as they come. He can fit in any generation. And when you look at me, a lot of ways, and I don't mean this in a cocky way, but I call myself a lot of times the transcendence, because I feel like I transcend eras. Why? Because my bread and butter is very simple. It's going to be hard-hitting, smash mouth, in your face, with pristine technique, and I got a mouth to back it up. So it doesn't matter whether it's 1960. It doesn't matter if I'm going to twist you in pretzels, or if I'm going to pop you in the head in the 70s, or if I'm going to toss you on your head in the 90s, or if it's now. I am the landmine. I am a gold mine. I am the network king, and I belong. And every single time you see me, you're going to see more value on your TV screen. It's going to get golder and brighter. That's how it's going to be.
It's so funny to watch a pro like you go from Joe the man to Joe the character. You just slipped right into that so smoothly, and you just made that promo and that transition like butter, man. I got to tell you, like, watching a pro like you is just impressive on my end of things.
I think Joe and the gold mine have a lot more in common.
It's funny, you bring up NWA, and you mentioned a lot of the big names, and obviously you guys can catch NWA live Tuesday nights, 6:05 Eastern on X.
No, now we're on Roku. Yeah, Roku.
I was going to say Roku. How did that feel, from the locker room's perspective of now being on not a major platform, but, a much bigger platform than Twitter?
Yeah, I mean, it's where it's streaming from on Roku. It's not some subservice of a subservice. It's on their main stream. And listen, this is, I'm also in business outside of pro wrestling, so I kind of understand how building relationships work and how you can scale your business, and usually the processes that you have to go through to acquire certain deals. And I've seen the progress of the NWA, and I listen to what Billy has to say when we're having our team meetings. and where his mind is going and how many steps ahead he is even than where we think he's at. This is what he does, right? So this was a very strategic move. It's a great partnership for us and what we're trying to get out there. We're trying to get the new, what I've seen with the production lately, there was that really fun Aaron Stevens and Tom Latimer match. It was excellent. There is a new, I don't know the right word for it, like a new energy that we want people to see. We want people to experience. We want people to know there's that other brand out there, and there's a reason that Natty Neidhart was on the Crockett Cup, because even the WWE clearly sees that there's something going on, and there's a working. I don't know what's going on, but hey, that happened, right? And that doesn't happen every day with every company. So that's kind of where I'm getting at with it. I think it's a great place for us to be. I'm excited to get out there and show what I can do. And it's more places for people to see eyes on me. And I'll tell everyone and their mother that I know to go watch Roku so they can see it.
That's exciting.
But, also, we have to give another shout. You mentioned guys like Spencer Slade, Alex Taylor.
Yep.
But when you look at the photography side of things here for a hot second, we have to give a shout out to the man who the shots that he takes are incredible. And Jeff, you know the photographer quite well, actually.
Who are you talking about?
Jason.
Oh my gosh.
Fellow New Yorker.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I tell this story, Joe. Before I met my current wife, who was not a wrestling fan, I was at an indie show, and one of the performers was doing you had to pay, and he would slap you across the face, right? And they got a picture of me getting smacked by Bin Hameen right across the face. I mean, like perfect, like hand to face. And that was one of the first pictures my then girlfriend or partner saw of me. She's like, wait a minute, who is this guy and what is this thing he's doing? I had to promise her that I'm not a wrestler, that Jason's just that good of a photographer.
which he is. But that's a great way to do it, yeah.
I'm just a fan. I can't do what you guys do. You guys are way better than me. So
but last thing I want to hit with NWA before we get to Championship Entertainment. Who on the roster do you still have your eye on that you want to face?
There's so many. There's so many. I'd love to beat up my old pal Brian Idol a couple of times. He has a nice championship, but I think a little better at my waist. So he's up there. Thrillbilly Silas Mason, Kerry Morton. There's so many that I'm the whole roster is just it's just all. I got to get in there with EC3 not too long ago. And PB Smooth, another guy from Long Island who I actually used to converse with right when he was starting to get into wrestling, and he had moved out of New York to get a mutual friend. So I got to wrestle him in the NWA in that tag match, which was insane. I'd love to get in there with Triple. That'd be pretty cool. I'd probably definitely be a little banged up after, but I'll be prepared.
Oh, I can imagine.
Mike Knox. That guy, man. But I love him. So he is a good dude, and I would love to get the ring with him because he has so much charisma. He can just make it. So, there's so many I'm forgetting, and for all you guys, I'm sorry because I want to wrestle all of you. So, whoever's skipping my mind right now, I can't wait to see.
Jeff?
No. I wanted to let Joe and you kind of make the announcement of why we're here tonight. This is where I'm going to step back and you actually produced. So
that's a nice way to put it. But yeah, guys, one of the reasons, obviously, definitely wanted to get Joe back on, but one of the other reasons is you guys know we cover basic indie wrestling from many aspects. We work with Dynasty up in Albany. We work with Bree Combination down in Jersey. We just announced, actually, right before we went live tonight, that we're working now with Win. Wrestling is Now, the Maximo's company, as we are now the official voice of Win. We're working with a company based in Chicago, Fantastic League of Wrestling. They'll be on live with us tomorrow night. But there's one area, Jeff, that we've not been able to cover. And it's where I am on Strong Island. And the announcement, Joe, do you want me to? And it took 4 years. But, Joe, I'm going to let you make the announcement.
Okay. Since co-founding a company of my own, I can officially say that Championship Entertainment Productions is partnered with the Around the Ropes podcast officially on Long Island, which is
There we go, guys.
Yeah.
Joe, I will say this much, and then I just want to get into what you guys have coming up in July, because you guys have a big show actually coming up in Freeport.
Yeah, so we have a back-to-back. We have some really cool experiences for the fans too. So in my hometown of East Meadow, there's a local bar restaurant named R.C. Dugan's. They've been hosting a lot of wrestling-themed events. I helped organize a situation where Nunzio went over for a WrestleMania watch party. So we have, on July 14th also, formerly known as Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Anderson, coming in to compete for Championship Entertainment Productions. But the day before, on July 13th, at R.C. Dugan's in East Meadow, at 3 p.m., he's going to be doing a meet and greet. Now, with any purchase of anything, whether it's a photograph of him, whether it's an 8x10, you get the chance to be entered into a promo contest, judged by one of the best promos of all time, Mr. Anderson. Whoever he chooses, gets 2 VIP tickets to the show the next day in Freeport at the beautiful Waterview for WrestleMania 2. So we are super excited to get that experience out. I think it's something that's unique and fun, and that's what we're trying to put together: unique, fun experiences, all family friendly, all here to put a good time on it. So I'm excited.
That's definitely one thing John and I talk about, that for a successful promotion to be successful, you have to be family friendly, but you also have to be engaged with your fans. You have to do those things that, be it, fan entrances or fan promos, giveaways, raffles, whatever have you, but the old days of just selling tickets, from the flyer on the telephone pole are long gone. We live in a digital media market, so you have to make yourself something special and do something unique. And that just sounds so exciting to let people get on the mic and kind of, try it themselves to see how scary it can really be, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know how passionate the fans are, and I've had experiences like that. Like, oh, please let me say something. So I think, giving all these fans 30 seconds to a minute to get on the microphone and kind of show what they got, kind of like they wish they would have on Tough Enough or whatever. Hey, you never know. There might be a promo that's so good. I look at Mr. Anderson, he looks at me, and we go, let's talk about that guy. So, and if not, it's just fun. We're all there for a good time. We're there to engage with, I think, honestly, Mr. Anderson, Ken, is one of the best talents I've ever seen. By far, leaps and he's had such a successful career by the history alone, and people still talk about how much more he could have done. That's what good is. So to have him on our show and to be a part of this exclusive live fan experience in my hometown, so cool. I mean, this is the stuff we look for, right?
I totally agree. And Joe, I'm also going to let you know, Around the Ropes will be there for both days.
Yes.
What we're doing though, both days.
I will try to drive down from Plattsburgh for the 14th.
That's cool. You're going to be so nice out.
I'm way up by Canada though, so when we have guests on like yourself, I have to remind people that despite the 3 accents here, we are all from the same state, believe it or not.
Yeah, right.
It may not sound like it, but and John calling it Strong Island, I have never heard it called that in my 43 years. So I'll let you guys keep that moniker.
Hey, Jeff, I look at it this way. There's a feeling of pride right now that now we have a company that we're working with right here on Long Island.
Well, yeah, but right in your own backyard. And you would kind of look at where ATR started and where it came from, John. And we talk about this all the time that, have a partnership like we have now with Joe in your own backyard. It just makes sense. It works. And Joe is excited. Joe, you seem I'm talking about you like you're not even here, but Joe seems like he's just as passionate and excited about this, but not just our venture, but what he's got coming up on the 14th. Joe, do you want to announce some other matches you have on the card?
Yeah, I mean it's it's a stacked card, especially for a Monday night.
I'm looking at Facebook now, so I mean,
yeah, no, please do. I mean, listen, even if the venue itself is gorgeous. It's a waterfront restaurant, catering hall. I spent a lot of summers in that same location before it was renovated. It's still cool. Back when I was growing up, I love it over there. So for that alone, it's amazing. We got Natalia Markovas in the wrestling committee on the card for the CEP Women's Championship. That match alone is a show stealer in my opinion. For me personally, I've been waiting for this one. It's a guy who has a little bit of an ego that I'm really ready to check, and I can't wait to speak about this. Captain Mustache, Richard Holiday, Dick Holiday. Me and him one-on-one for the first time ever this championship. Can't take anything away from what he does in the ring, but can't take away from what I do. So,
It's the fact that we're getting you versus Richard Holiday for the main event Monday night. And I've said this before. There's certain talent I've seen in the New York, New Jersey area who I am surprised is not on a WWE or an AEW. And the two of the names that I have on that list are in that main event Monday night. To me, it's insane. And folks, the thing is, we've said this before on the show. You look at WWE ticket prices; they're astronomically expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're willing to give an arm, a leg, and the right side of your head, you're not getting into a WWE show. But the nice part is, independent shows like what Joe has are reasonable prices.
Yeah. And speaking of Joe, where can someone get tickets? Where can we find tickets?
Excellent question. Yes.
Yeah.
So, if you go to on your event, it's called CEP Presents Wrestle U2. Also, I'll get the social media to you guys. If you just screenshot it, you'll get the QR code, and that'll take you right to the event. Right. You can also buy tickets at the Sure.
And I will attest that you can find him. You can find it right on Facebook under Championship Entertainment Productions, and the links will bring you right to the Eventbrite page there. There is a QR code on just about everything, so it's a well done. Obviously, it's not it's not your run of the mill fly by the seat of your pants kind of production. You're running here, Joe. You make it very fan friendly and user friendly to be able for us to do our job for you, and that's to promote your product.
Well, that's the team, right? That's ATL behind the scenes doing great graphic work, and Dixon. I heard is a little bit anal about what he likes on his flyers because he always has something to say. Speaking of him, he's going to be wrestling on the show against Rex Lawless, which is another match.
Isn't that last time?
This is the last. Yeah, this is I think the last time they're going out. They wrestled at Mexico Park. This is the last one. Rex smacks him on. Mr. Anderson is wrestling Giovanni for the first time ever. That's going to be pretty sick. Jovi, I'm looking forward to that. It's a big opportunity for him. It's I think first time against a legend that I know of. I could be wrong. But that's going to be something special, man. Again, it's giving a young talent that's doing very well an opportunity to see what they're made of against one of the greatest. And those experiences are either big W's for the talent, and even if they take it now, it's a lesson at the same time. So,
actually, Joe, I was just going to ask, when you get somebody like Mr. Anderson or another talent of that caliber in to your promotion, do you find that it just helps the stars, it just elevates the show, or it elevates the team behind, like it brings everybody up? Do you find that they, do you find working with people like him easy? Does he teach? Like, is that what you're looking for when you bring in people like that?
Bingo. So what you just said, we have a great roster. We've been very blessed to build a very solid core fan base that we have a pretty consistent flow of people. So far, hopefully it stays that way. But I'm saying it out of gratitude. We've had a pretty consistent flow of fans. When it came to bringing Ken in, I've wrestled Ken before for Warriors of Wrestling. They gave me that opportunity a couple of years ago, and I had a really good experience with him. Ken is the kind of talent that's not just coming in to do the job he's going to pocket the money for. He's coming to do whatever he can to help your company and the people in it. And I think when he comes in with the caliber of talent he is, with the amount of respect that he has for everyone around him and the way he carries himself, the way he performs in the ring, the way that he does give back, that's why I wanted him to come in, because to me that's the level up. And it is a sign to our roster and our audience. We want to bring in something special. We want to continue that experience that they're getting, not just our regular awesome roster, but there's going to be highlights from people that you see on WWE TV or TNA or AEW for a much lower cost than going over there, but then having a more exclusive experience. And when you do that, you want someone that's going to give the fans that experience. Ken is that guy. So if you've never been to an independent show and seen Mr. Anderson wrestle or interact, for that alone, it's worth the price of admission. It's worth $20-$25.
That's not a bad price, because I'll be very frank with you. Raw's coming up to Montreal, which is only 45 minutes from the border, or for me, right?
Yep.
And top tier tickets all the way in the back. And John, you can attest this because I showed it to you.
Yeah.
Are like $65 American, way in the back of the Bell Center. I'm talking
Right.
nosebleeds. You got to have your camera out to see the ring. That's $65 for a Raw taping, where I could spend 1/3 that price and come to your show. I think it might even be on the same night, and have quality matches and see just the same level of caliber of stars do what they do best, and that's just perform with their craft that they love.
Yeah.
And the thing also, and I've noticed this going to a lot of shows, even, it's not only that, but you also get to meet the talent. And you also get to build a friendship with a lot of these talents, especially if you come to more, multiple shows. You tend to do that. And you can have it where you go to like 8, 9 shows and the talent will be like, oh, I remember you. And that goes for a lifetime. And people don't realize that. You have that small interaction with, let's say, a Rhea Ripley or a John Cena. You're spending an arm and a leg. You're waiting on a long ass line. Probably also very tired in line, because just look at what happened. We saw at Fanatics Fest a couple weeks ago. And you saw the pictures of the 300-400 people online to go meet a John Cena. But yet, if you go to an independent show, 9 times out of 10, if you wait at the right moment, you're not going to be waiting. There's no, you have to wait on this long line. You go up to the talent, as long as you're not being a prick, they'll talk to you.
Yeah, and to give you some insight, even what I do with my fitness industry and some of the things that I'm working on developing, I'm all about experience, fan experience, user experience, whatever you want to call it. So I think one of our mission statements as a brand is we want our fans that come to see our shows not just feel like they sat and watched the show, that they truly were part of everything surrounding it. So our talent is always interacting with the fans. We want to talk to you. We want to hear your feedback. We want people to feel included. They need to be part of this one because they're on the team with us. So if that's the kind of experience you're looking for as a fan, with really high-end talent, and some of the best that are up and coming and working their butts off, that are going to be stars on TV, the stars in the next of tomorrow, this is the place to be. And I I say it because I know the people that are on the roster that aren't just myself, and it's very special. What has been created is very special. I'm like blessed to be. It started as a passion project. This will be kind of fun. Maybe we can do our own thing a couple of times. Just for just to why not? And it turned into something way more.
But
It's nice to hear the passion in your voice, Joe. It's easy to believe in you and your product when you give a speech like that, honestly. Because that's not just a performer in you. That's somebody that just loves what he does, and you can tell that you believe in it, you believe in yourself, and you believe in your roster. So that's something that we as fans can get behind, and I think you'll make that experience much more pleasurable for your fans that do show up, that are there for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that.
yeah. And Joe, I've been a fan for a while. I've been a fan. So getting the opportunity to have you back on and now working with you guys, because I actually have an idea, but I'm going to wait to bring up the idea till after we are off here,
Fair enough. Okay.
because I don't want to put you on the spot like that.
Right? Yeah, I know. That's okay.
But I have said this before. I've said this before. There's a lot of unsigned talent who I think should be up on a WWE or an AEW, and I think you are one of them, my friend.
Appreciate that very much.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a funny story I have watching you wrestle. Then we'll wrap up with this. Was when you were in Mount Olympus for Titan Championship Wrestling.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think it was your return to Titan.
Yeah.
And you came in and you won. I don't remember who you eliminated to win, but I remember you won it. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, because I think it was you came in as like a surprise. I was kind of like, oh, okay, because the last thing I knew, you had the knee injury.
So actually, funny enough story. I did win the and it was I threw Wrecking Ball out.
Yeah, Wrecking Ball. Yep.
Let me say that again. I threw Wrecking Ball out. Okay. I threw Wrecking Ball. But to tell you more about that was before which was a rough experience in itself. Like I said, I was doing really well, and then it was another. It happens. There's no smoke and mirrors to the physicality. Lord knows I don't know how to hold back very much. So I've had my fair share of orthopedic injuries, like most athletes do, that have been performing that time. But it was just tough to deal with. But it was right before that was then, and then. But when I came back, I wound up wrestling Tom Burnett. So a couple of things worked out.
No, I mean, like I said, I have seen you now for a while. I'm glad that we got this thing going. Jeff, do you have any more questions for Joe?
I don't, Joe. I really appreciate you coming on, giving us your time. And again, do you want to just share one more time with the fans how they can get tickets, where we can see you, what day, all the deets?
Let me give you everything. So let's start with Sunday, July 13th. There's actually something else for those adults out there that consume alcohol, and even if you don't, if you like to do fun stuff, I'm doing something called the Workout Liner with RCP. What that is from 11 to 1 p.m. Think of limbo, think of freeze dance or freeze exercise, think plank ring toss, musical chairs. All have mini games. They're all mini games with prizes. Okay, unlimited mimosas, unlimited breakfast buffet, all for $65. And of course, the whole gimmick is the workout liner. You have a cup. It doesn't have to be wine, of liquid, and trying not to spill it. It's going to be a lot of fun if you're into that thing. Right from there, Mr. Kennedy, aka Mr. Anderson, is going to be at RC Dugan's at 3 o'clock for the autograph signing. Around the Ropes podcast will be there with us. And on top of that, we are doing our promo contest. So anything from Mr. Anderson at all, autograph, 8x10, whatever the case is, you get entered. You get to do the promo contest. Whoever gets selected gets 2 free VIP tickets to the show the next day, which is July 14th for CEP Presents Wrestling 2. That's going to be at Bayview on the Water, their water view. which is outdoors, 395 Cleft Avenue in Freeport, 6:30 p.m. start time. It's going to be something else. You can get that on the Eventbrite. CP presents Wrestle YouTube. You can look up Workout Winery on that Eventbrite. When you get to RC Dugans to meet Mr. Anderson, everything will be brought in person at the location. These are great experiences, guys. Please follow CPP. It's at CPP Pro Wrestling on Instagram. I am Joe _Ocasio on Instagram. And yeah, it's been a real pleasure.
Absolutely, Joe. And like I said, guys, in case you're first joining us, I just want to reiterate the announcement one more time. In case people are just joining us, Around the Ropes and Championship Entertainment Productions are now working together. Stay tuned because you're going to have a lot more talent from Championship Entertainment Productions, and you might actually see some on-site shows. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see.
I like this.
Guys, for the Landmine, Joe Ocasio, Jeff the Talent, I'm John. You can catch Jeff and myself live tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Let me just shoot that up quickly. As we are doing our Ultimate War Games match, where it's 5 superstars going up against 5 superheroes. And we'll also be joined by the CEO and owner of Flow, Fantastic League of Wrestling, Mr. John Bullard. So again, guys, catch myself and Jeff tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. We're out of here, guys. Catch you guys next time.
Peace.
Later.